The former and future president is moving quickly to fill the clown car and round out his cabinet before he changes his mind and fires them all. Moments ago, Trump announced that he has selected Fox Weekend morning show host, you can't make this up, Pete Hegseth, to serve as Secretary of Defense, because why not?
Donald Trump is doing everything he can to turn America's military into his military. And it's not only infuriating, it's one of the greatest threats to democracy we will face in his second term. The latest indicator? He's appointing Pete Hegseth, a TV personality from Fox News with zero experience managing a large organization, to be Secretary of Defense. Hegseth has no business holding a position of power in our armed forces. He's not a military strategist, and his attitudes towards women in uniform is appalling, which makes this appointment not just incompetent, but dangerous, because it undermines the integrity of the military.
And to lead what is, by most measures, the biggest employer in the country, if not the world, with nearly 3 million employees and a presence in more than 51 countries, the bulwark of American national security and America's commitments to our allies, Donald Trump has chosen another Fox News fixture for that job. Pete Hegseth is a decorated Army veteran, but he's probably best known, as CNN reports, for, quote, putting on a show specifically for Trump, quote unquote, on Trump's favorite network, Fox News, on the weekends, and for his contempt for anything seen as woke. He will be the defense secretary if he is confirmed. Here's some of what he has said over the years on Fox and on social media, where he hawks so-called anti-woke products.
I'm straight up just saying we should not have women in combat roles. And then, whatever the standards, whatever the combat standards were, say, in, 1995, let's just make those the standards.
I have friends who've texted me who are not very political saying, I'm coming to Washington, D.C. today because I can't handle what's happening in my country.
These folks on the lawn, and there were more than I'd ever seen. These are not conspiracy theorists motivated just by lies. That's a bunch of nonsense that people want to tell us. These are people that understand first principles. They love freedom and they love free markets.
But it gets worse. Trump is now considering an executive order to purge the military of officers he believes aren't loyal enough. This is the kind of authoritarian behavior you'd expect from a dictator, not the leader of a democratic nation. This isn't just cronyism or petty corruption. It's a blatant attempt to politicize the military for Trump's own gain. He wants officers who will prioritize loyalty to him over their oaths to the Constitution. Trump is not looking for leadership, competence, or experience. He wants unwavering devotion. He's seeking generals who will agree with every decision he makes, no matter how reckless, unlawful, or unethical they might be. Let's examine Hegseth's record. He's a well-known media figure who gained prominence primarily for his strong support of Trump on Fox News, rather than for any demonstrated military acumen. Hegseth's value to Trump lies not in his strategic insights, but in his willingness to publicly defend his agenda without question. This isn't about selecting the best person for the job. It's about choosing someone who will serve Trump's interests without dissent. By appointing Hegseth, Trump is making it clear that he prioritizes loyalty to himself over the strength and readiness of the armed forces. It's a move that signals a disregard for the non-partisan values that are foundational to the military's role in a democratic society. Additionally, Hegseth has been a vocal advocate for American war criminals like Clint Lawrence and Eddie Gallagher, individuals whose own teammates testified against them and who are convicted of serious violations of the laws of war.
Hegseth was a key player, for instance, in convincing the then president to intervene in the war crimes cases of 3 U.S. service members in 2019. That effort led to pardons for 2 Army officers, Matthew L. Goldston and Clint Lawrence, in separate murder cases, and a redemption of sorts for Navy SEAL Edward Gallagher, who had seen his rank reduced after a military jury acquitted him of murder charges, but found him guilty of posing for a photograph with a corpse. Using his platform on Fox News, Hegseth lobbied repeatedly on behalf of the 3 men, even as platoon members serving under Lawrence and Gallagher described the killings as cold-blooded and unnecessary. One squad leader in their platoon called it, quote, straight murder.
By undermining the verdicts against these men, Pete Hegseth has brought dishonor to our armed forces. But his actions are a reminder of why Trump views Hegseth as an ally. Trump's proposed executive order to purge officers who aren't loyal enough is a direct assault on democratic norms. This kind of behavior is typical of authoritarian regimes, not of a functioning democracy. Trump is attempting to reshape the military into a force that answers to him personally, rather than to the Constitution. It's not just a threat to the military, it's a threat to the very fabric of our democracy. The military takes an oath to defend the Constitution, not any single individual, yet Trump is behaving like a paranoid leader who wants unconditional loyalty from his generals, fearing they might challenge his authority. It's Ken Harbaugh. Quick break here to let you know that we'd love to hear from you. Your comments, suggestions, thoughts about future topics and guests, email us at info@thekenharbaughshow.com, and make sure to rate and review us on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks, and back to the show. Politicizing the military isn't just unethical, it's a direct threat to the stability of our nation. The U.S. Armed Forces derive their strength from their nonpartisan commitment to serving the country, not the preferences of a single political leader. Trump's actions could destroy this tradition, turning the military into a political tool. This is the kind of behavior that destabilizes governments and erodes trust in civil-military relations. Right now, career public servants at the Pentagon, within the DoD, are scrambling. Even as chaotic as Trump's first term in office was, these latest proposals to have Pete Hegseth lead the department and carry out a purge of disloyal officers have sent shockwaves through the defense establishment.
National security officials and defense analysts had braced for surprises from Trump after experiencing his first 4 years in office. But even grading on that curve, they say the announcement of Pete Hegseth caught them totally off guard. Trump puts the highest value on loyalty. That's Eric Edelman saying that, who served as the Pentagon's top policy official during the Bush administration. Quote, "It appears that one of the main criteria that's being used is how well do people defend Donald Trump on television? One assessment was more blunt. Who the F is this guy?" said a defense industry lobbyist who spoke anonymously, to be candid. Should he be confirmed, Hegseth's first order of business will likely be that purge of Pentagon top brass. Here's what he said on a podcast 6 days ago.
You got to fire the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, and you got to fire this. I mean, obviously, you're going to bring in a new Secretary of Defense, but any general that was involved, general, admiral, whatever, that was involved in any of the DEI woke it's got to go.
If Trump succeeds in carrying out this purge, we'll see a military filled with officers too afraid to voice their opinions and too concerned with their job security to stand up for what's right. We'll get generals more focused on pleasing the president than on making sound strategic decisions. This is a dangerous precedent that threatens to compromise the effectiveness and integrity of our military. Dissent, debate, and critical thinking, essential components of a strong military, will be replaced by fear and obedience. The message Trump is sending to rank-and-file soldiers is also deeply troubling. Loyalty to him matters more than loyalty to the Constitution. If you're not angry yet, you're not paying attention. Trump's efforts to politicize the military are an undeniable step towards authoritarianism, and if we don't push back, we'll all pay the price. So get mad, get loud, and let's make damn sure that the military remains what it was always meant to be, a nonpartisan, apolitical force for good, not an instrument for a power-hungry politician to control the country.